This week's Parsha of Chayei Sara, we begin with the story of the death of Sarah. Sarah had an untimely passing. Back then, untimely passing meant at the age of 127. She heard the news that her son Yitzchak, Isaac, was taken as a sacrifice to Har Moriah by her husband, and she didn't hear the end of the story, that everything turned out okay and he was spared and nothing ended up happening to him, but she was so overwhelmed with the shock of the news that she passed out on the spot and immediately passed away and died tragically. And Abraham comes home after the story of the Akedah and finds his wife, who he has been married to for many decades, that she's dead, and he has to go ahead and plan for her funeral. Now, the question has been asked many times, and that is that Abraham and Sarah were both considered very great and special human beings, and perhaps even Sarah was greater than Abraham, as we learned in last week's Parsha, because God told Abraham, when he had a disagreement with Sarah, to listen to Sarah. This was in reference to this story of Yishmael of last week. But in any event, we find that Sarah was on a very high and spiritual level. So why is it that Abraham was able to go ahead and be engaged with this challenge of the Akedah Yitzchak, the binding of Isaac? He was able to bring his son as a sacrifice to Har Moriah as an expression of his great faith, even though it didn't end up occurring, the actual Akedah Yitzchak. But in any event, that's what he was prepared for. Whereas Sarah, on the other hand, Sarah just heard the news and immediately she passed out and died on the spot. Why was it that Avram was able to go ahead and persevere with this test, but Sarah was not? And Rabbi Fisch says something very compelling on this week's Parsha. He says that in life, we have many different challenges and many different tests. But each time God sends us a test, He also sends with us the strength to overcome it. It's not just that we receive a test, a challenge, and we're out on our own. We have the strength to overcome the challenge. And it's our job to go ahead and find that inner strength that we have within us and be able to overcome the situation that we're in. And that's what a nisayon, a test, is. And many times in life, we're faced with tests, but we also have to remember that we have the strength to overcome it. And that's what the story with Abraham and Sarah was. Abraham received the most extraordinary test of all time, the binding of Isaac, to bring his son Isaac, Yitzchak, as a sacrifice to Har Moriah. But he also received this great strength, inner strength, that he was able to overcome this test. Whereas Sarah, on the other hand, this was not her test. So she didn't have any strength, and therefore she passed out merely by hearing the news. Folks, in our lives, we're many times faced with challenges and tests, and we get overwhelmed and discouraged by the magnitude of these challenges. Let us remember the story of Akedah Yitzchak, and let us remember always that with the challenge comes great strength as well. Have a wonderful Shabbos.